I'll watch some TV. It'll help me to relax.
Welcome back to the Ren and Stimpy recap. Today we are taking a look at the Ren and Stimpy Iceberg and explaining some of the darker and more unknown things about the show.
And with these hands, I hold the fate of millions.
So just a heads up that this is an iceberg I made on my own, and I don't claim to be like a Ren and Stimpy expert. A lot of research went into this, but I'm probably gonna be missing some stuff, so yeah. So first, we don't actually have the tip of the iceberg, but instead the sky over it. And this tier has, well, just the most general stuff about the show. We got the two titular characters of Ren and Stimpy, of course. Ren Hoek is a psychopathic chihuahua that lives with his best friend, Stimpy J. Cat.
Oh joy! We are such a happy family!
A very friendly, but not very sharp cat.
You're an idiot.
Spamco is the animation studio responsible for the first two seasons of Ren and Stimpy, called the Spamco era, which is what many consider to be the golden era of the show. Log, Ren and Stimpy had many segments, splitting up episodes and filling out runtime, and the most iconic of these is definitely Log.
What's great for a snack and fits on your back? It's Log, Log, Log.
Which is a fictional product by the fictional company Blammo.
Log from Blammo.
Ad segments for Log ran together with many episodes of the show and even appeared in actual episodes. Happy Happy Joy Joy is a song from the in-universe singer Stinky Whistleteats from the episode Stimpy's Invention.
Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy.
The song number of Ren and Stimpy dancing to this song in the episode is one of the most iconic things about the entire show.
Happy, happy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy.
Powdered Toast Man is probably the most recognizable side character from the show.
Powder Toast Man!
Hello, fellas.
He's a parody of superheroes made out of toast that appears in multiple episodes and even has 2 episodes with him as the main character. Mr. Horse is another side character that, while maybe not quite as recognizable as Powdered Toast Man, is still very memorable. His catchphrase,
"No, sir, I don't like it,"
is something many people not that familiar with the show probably might still recognize. Muddy Mudskipper is a third side character that is probably the third most recognizable side character.
I crawled my way up out of the mud to get where I am.
He is a celebrity and stars in the Muddy Mudskipper show in universe. Games Animation is the studio that took over from Spamco and were responsible for the final 3 seasons of the Ren and Stimpy show, often regarded as quite not as good as the original run of the 2 seasons. George Liquor is a character who only appears in a couple of episodes, but still manages to be very controversial.
I'm George Liquor, American.
Due to his abusive and aggressive personality clashing with Nickelodeon and Ren and Stimpy being a kids show.
Get on that couch!
Haggis McHaggis was kind of Games Animation's replacement for George Liquor after the first 2 seasons.
Blasphemy! It cannot be true!
Haggis is still very angry and aggressive, but not quite as bad as George.
How dare you serve me haggis without chutney?
Billy West was the voice actor for Stimpy during all 5 seasons of the show.
Don't worry, old buddy. I'll take care of you.
And also Ren during the 3 seasons of the Games era.
I'll give $5 whole to anyone who could just knock me out.
Wilbur Cobb is another recurring character in the game's era, and he is an old man whose mind is not quite in function.
The walls have teeth.
He plays a lot of different roles in the show, including God's gardener in the last episode.
Farewell, goodly rodent. Hustle up pizza.
Mr. and Mrs. Pipe are a married couple who appears throughout the show.
Man, that's the ugliest mouse I've ever seen.
The two's faces have never been shown in any of their appearances. Ask Dr. Stupid is another segment like Log that fills out the runtime of episodes.
Ask Dr. Stupid, with your host, Dr. Stupid.
There are a lot of these, and they feature Stimpy as a doctor answering questions from the viewers.
Dear Dr. Stupid, why do I have to go to school?
Ren and Stimpy has a few official video games from back in the day. With multiple of them adapting episodes of the show, including Stimpy's Invention and Fire Dogs, with both of these being episodes in Season 1. The show also had plenty of physical releases, with 11 VHSs in the US.
No Ren and Stimpy aficionado should be without the classics. Add them to your collection, available only from Nickelodeon Home Video.
As well as free United Kingdom exclusives. Then for DVD, the whole show was released in 3 separate releases.
Warning, prolonged exposure to Ren and Stimpy may cause painful fits of explosive laughter and inexpressibly fantastic feelings of uncontrolled euphoria. Log not included.
Ren and Stimpy had a lot of toys released over the years, including a lot of plushes and action figures.
Soft, cuddly, and a total gas, plus talking Ren and Stimpy.
You're my true friend, happy, joy, joy.
Rude Toot and talking Ren and Stimpy, each sold separately.
Some of these are really cursed, and some are really good looking. It's a very mixed bag. The show also had a long-running comic line with Marvel Comics, and has 44 issues, not counting the special issues. These comics reuses elements and characters of the show, but are for the most part completely original stories featuring the characters, with the total of stories actually surpassing the number of episodes in the show. Ren tries to snap Stimpy's neck is referring to the Season 2 episode Stimpy's Fan Club.
Quick, twist, and it's over.
Where Ren goes absolutely crazy with jealousy. And yes, he actually tries to kill Stimpy in this episode, but is stopped at the last second by his own brain.
It's happening again!
Many other cartoons have parodied Ren and Stimpy, including The Simpsons, Teen Titans Go, and Garfield and Friends.
Well, how about cable? I hear they're considering doing a funny version of Ren and Stimpy.
Many of the parodies take a stab at the show. A Visit to Anthony is a Season 2 episode where Ren and Stimpy go to visit a kid named Anthony, who's a fan of their in-universe show.
Hey, fellas, let's play.
Anthony is played by a real fan, like a real-life fan of the show, and the letter that is sent to the characters in the episode was a real letter sent by the real Anthony. That was the inspiration for the entire episode.
He says, "Dear Ren and Stimpy."
Censorship was always a problem with this show, as basically they just kept putting stuff into the episodes that Nickelodeon would not allow, which led to scenes being cut out of episodes in airings. Stimpy's Breakfast Tips is a segment that played only in one episode, which was the first one of Season 1.
Oh, hello. You're just in time for another one of my breakfast tips.
And it unsurprisingly features Stimpy giving the audience some breakfast tips.
Let's try a little experiment, shall we?
What's most interesting about this segment is Stimpy's black eyes that appear for just a frame and look very cursed.
Now, boys and girls, just pour the cereal back in the box.
The censoring of the show resulted in multiple episodes being banned, with Man's Best Friend featuring George Liquor being the most infamous one. This episode had George being abusive towards the two main characters after adopting them, resulting in a very violent Ren freakout. Other banned episodes include Sammy and Me, where a praying mantis bites people's heads off. This was a crazy show. Announced all the way back in 2020, the Ren and Stimpy reboot was leaked in 2024 to very mixed reception. Many felt that the reboot failed to capture the charm of the original show, and it speculated that the less than warm reception to the leaks led to the reboot being cancelled before release, as it's been pretty quiet since. It is pretty unclear whether Ren and Stimpy are supposed to just be friends or something more than that. It's really an episode to episode thing, where the two can go from just seeming like two buddies in one episode to a married couple in the next one. Ren's tail is another very inconsistent thing in the show, with it appearing and disappearing and sparking a surprising amount of fan debate. The tail is in some episodes and not in others. Might be a video on it coming soon. The Ren and Stimpy credits are very recognizable to anyone who's watched the show. But many might not know that the first episode, the pilot Big House Blues, first aired with different credits. Back in 2015, when SpongeBob's second movie released, there was a Ren and Stimpy short that was supposed to be released alongside the film. The short was never produced, but storyboards exist of it, and it features Ren, Stimpy and Stimpy's cousin Sven watching SpongeBob. Have Yourself a Stinky Little Christmas is a VHS release that features the Christmas episode Son of Stimpy from season 2.
Something came out of my butt!
As well as 2 new segments only on this release.
Oh joy! It's Christmas Eve, Ren!
Ren and Stimpy have canonically met Spider-Man. Their comic line is a part of Marvel Comics, so it's only fitting that the second issue featured a crossover where Spider-Man goes toe-to-toe with Powdered Toast Man. Ren and Stimpy Adult Party Cartoon is the first reboot of the show, which came out back in 2003. This was an adult version of the show with a lot of sexual content and violence, which did not exactly get the best reception. John Kricfalusi, aka John K, is the creator of Ren and Stimpy, both the original show and the Adult Party Cartoon from 2003. He is also a lot of other things. John K was fired from the original show in 1992 due to him often missing deadlines and often having fights with Nickelodeon executives over censoring and what he was allowed to and not allowed to put into the show. John K has since been exposed as having run a toxic work environment, which includes allegation of sexual harassment and grooming of 2 underage girls. Raymond Spum is the inventor of animation, a made-up person that John K created and named his studio Spumco after. John K would use the name Raymond Spum on any episode he was not pleased with the turnout of, essentially removing his own name from the episode. Ren Seeks Help is probably the most disturbing episode of the Adult Party Cartoon, depending on how you define disturbing.
The first memory, long ago.
The episode sees Ren going to a psychiatrist, or it's really just Mr. Horse, and telling him about his childhood.
I like to spin my little tires, spinning and spinning.
There is a lot of violence in his childhood, which carries on to the present as Mr. Horse dies at the hands of Ren at the end of the episode. The season 2 episode Fake Dad, which has Ren adopt a grown man as his baby, originally had a long football scene that ultimately didn't end up in the finished episode. Fake Dad was going to be a double-length special, but without the football scene it was cut down to a regular 11-minute episode, leaving the football scene as just few storyboards. Ralph Bakshi is a legendary animator and filmmaker who plays the fire chief in the Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon Reboots.
Meet me in my pad tonight. I'll show you a good time.
Bakshi also plays himself in the flesh in the live action segments that play before Fire Dogs Part 2, Part 1.
Rather, my life ain't worth much anyhow.
Peter Lorre was an actor in the first half of the 1900s, known for his roles in movies like M, A City is Looking for a Murderer, and The Maltese Falcon. Lorre's eccentric acting style and vocal mannerisms can be found clearly in Ren Hoek, whose voice John Kay described as a bad imitation of Peter Lorre.
I want to ask my questions now, and I want to have my answers now. You hear?
Stimpy's Pregnant is another adult party cartoon episode with a very self-explanatory title. It's... The less said about this episode the better, but it's definitely not a clickbait episode. The Bloody Head Fairy is a character that appears in the season 2 episode of the original show, titled Haunted House, but in a deleted scene removed from the DVD release.
A bloody head! And it's a Jim Dandy!
As a parody of the Tooth Fairy, the Bloody Head Fairy comes to collect bloody heads and leave dimes in the person's ear.
Quick, Stimpy! There's something in my ear!
Reverend Jack is an episode from season 5 featuring a character with the same name.
Gather round, children, for I preach the gospel of meat.
Reverend Jack Cheese is a very strange character just in context of the episode, but when you know more about who made the show, it makes a lot more sense, as Reverend Jack is supposed to be a parody of show creator John Kay. The episode itself is a parody of John Kay's own firing and the events leading up to it, with references to real-world stuff that actually happened in the episode.
We haven't put on a single show in months.
The Wilderness Adventure was supposed to be an episode in the first season of the original show, but was rejected by Nickelodeon multiple times and scrapped. When John Kay later was working on the adult party cartoon Reboots, the Wilderness Adventure story was brought to the table again, but was yet again scrapped and never ended up being made, although there are content of it available online. Life Sucks is another scrapped episode that was written for the original show, but ended up as an adult party cartoon episode that was ultimately never aired and never finished. It is considered a lost episode, and a very dark one at that, with the plot revolving around Ren telling Stimpy horrible things to make him realize that life sucks.
No, Ren! No! Tell me they weren't skewers! Goodbye, folks.